Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to the Bootcamp Blueprint, the place where personal trainers go to grow their bootcamp and social media. I'm super excited because this week we have the go-to person in the fitness industry in the world when it comes to running local results-based challenges. Now, I heard this person speak at IDEA not only once but twice, and that's saying enough there. Like 2 presentations at IDEA. I've been trying for years to try and speak there and I haven't been accepted yet. This man's got twice in one convention and they were 2 of my favorite presentations there. I've only actually asked 2 people from the IDEA convention to speak on this podcast and this person is one of them. So we're in for a treat. Now, this person runs a very, very, very successful fitness studio himself, earning, I believe, millions of dollars in revenues, mainly as a result from these challenges. And here's the thing, not only is it successful because it works financially for him, but his clients also get amazing results, which I've seen from their testimonials. And that's probably a big part of why he's able to generate that income with challenges. And now he also teaches other personal trainers how to do the same. So he teaches other personal trainers how to run challenges and get those results themselves. And the trainers he has taught have had amazing results themselves, which I've seen as well. But anyways, without further ado, let me introduce the head of 360 Fitness and an international fitness presenter, the one and only Mr. Jack Wheeler. Jack, how are you?
Very good. Thanks, Jono. Man, I just pumping my tires. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for the lovely intro.
I was being modest. I could have gone on and on and on, but I thought, hey, let's give our listeners a bit of your magic. So let's start, Jack. I like to start all these podcasts off with a quote or mantra that inspires you or fires you up. Have you got one for us?
Yeah. So a lot of people call me the imperfect action guy, the guy that kind of like, all right, I'm just going to figure it out as I go. So I always tell, our clients, whether it's our personal training clients or our fitness business clients, the risk of making the wrong decision, right, is there with, it's definitely a lot less than the fear of making no decision, right? So who cares if you screw up? You got to kind of think of like this fitness game as baseball. All you have to do is hit it out of the park 1 to 3 times and you're an absolute rock star, right? So it's just all about that imperfect action.
Love it. I love that on so many different ways. And it's funny you mentioned that because I interviewed a guest just before and he said the exact same thing.
Love it. Good.
Yeah, he used a quote, something, it was something like, good is better than done, or excellent is something along those lines there. And also the fact that he never fails, he either wins or he learns. So I like, I love both of that.
Yeah, one of our core values here at 360 is fail forward, right? So encouragement of like positive failure and just making sure that you're going out there and having the opportunity to fail is giving yourself the opportunity to succeed. And if you don't win, right, you're just identifying talents at what you're good at and identifying talents at what you can improve on. So I love it. Yeah. It's just that I'm from Canada, so I'm a huge hockey guy, right? And we always kind of think of Wayne Gretzky's like you're going to miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Like it's just get out there, take some imperfect action, and just roll with it.
Love it. Love it. Well, hey, Jack, what I'd like to talk about today is your story. Because a lot of my listeners, they're mainly from Australia, New Zealand. They may not have heard about your 360 Fitness and they might be thinking, okay, this guy's from Canada. It's a big country, big cities, probably easy for him to get a lot of clients. He probably lives in one of those big ass cities and, he's a good looking guy. Women probably just want to train with him because he's cute. So what I was hoping is, we sort of go through your story about how you figured out how to run these successful challenges. And then along the way, we can just identify little key pointers. If you find something that is a goal and some of our listeners could implement to do the same, that would be great.
Yeah.
And just before we do, just for my listeners, so just if you're listening to this, me and Jack, we've probably only got about 15, 20 minutes to get through this. And Jack is a wealth of knowledge. He could go all day on this, but he does have a program as well. He'll probably tell you about it later, but he's got a done for you 21-day challenge for personal trainers. I'll put the link in the description, but it's pretty easy. It's just 360fitness.ca/21day-biz with a Z. I'll put that in the description so you don't need to worry about that. But if you like what Jack says, you can just go straight to that. And just before we get into your story, Jack, I think you made a mistake on your website. So if you're listening to this as a listener, I would jump on that right now, because I saw on his website that if you don't make double your money back from working with Jack, you give them their money back. Is that a mistake, Jack?
Well, I have terrible tech skills, so it might be more typos on that website, but definitely that is not a typo. We have a 2x revenue guarantee, absolute 100% money back. You invest in the program and you double your money if you execute it. If you show up, you put in the hard work, and you roll the program as we lay it out in the manuals. And if you don't double your money, we'll actually give you 100% of your money back, and you can keep all the materials and try again. So we've done it dozens of times, and every single person has doubled their money, if a bare minimum. So there's an absolute no risk guarantee behind it. We back it up.
I love it. So if you're listening to that, jump on that now before Jack changes that, because there's no loss, right? You're basically you bid, or you get your money back and you get all your stuff for free. So jump on. But anyways,
my business partners did not like that part when I threw it in. I was like, hey guys, we got to do this. Like it's simple. It's an absolute no brainer. Yeah.
Love it. Well, hey, we'll get to that towards the end. Let's dive into your story, Jack. Our listeners may not have heard about you. Let us know, when did you start this gym? When did you realize that challenges were the way to go? Was it an instant success? Run us through your story.
Oh, yeah. So I started off just like most personal trainers, right? So I was working out of another gym, a big box gym. It wasn't what I wanted to do forever. The environment was not, conducive to success for myself or our clients. There was always just a better way, right? There was a better mousetrap. We always kind of thought of like, if everything was perfect, what could we achieve and how would it all look like? So we kind of manifested the idea of 360 Fitness, and we opened a higher end private personal training studio about 9 years ago. And it was, one of the oil crashes in Alberta history. And if you guys know anything about Canada, it's very resource heavy, and it was just in a big recession. We opened up in the worst possible time, in the worst possible part of the country, and we hit the nail on the head. It was really, really awesome on that. We were just grinding it out. We were giving the people exactly what they wanted, talking to the right person at the right time with the right service, the right offer, and it was just a huge, huge success. So we opened up a personal training studio 9 years ago in Hickville, awesome small town, Red Deer, Alberta, Canada. Greater Red Deer, Alberta, Canada has 90,000 people, and we're talking like within a 50-mile radius. So it's a very, very small town, and opening up a higher end personal training studio was just, the banks did not like us, their lawyers did not like us. They were thinking that we're crazy, but we're like, we have this awesome idea, we're gonna run with it. And through a lot of hard work, dedication, grinding it out, and just, just like everybody else on this podcast, just, when the passion meets the pavement, we hit it out of the park. And then about 5 years ago, we opened up our second location, and just last year, we opened up our third location. And being able to scale the business and being able to, for them to be on autopilot and like that reoccurring growth is mainly due to rocking these results-driven fitness challenges, right? These low barrier offers, these entry-level offers that we absolutely crank out, get our clients amazing results. It increases our revenue on the front end, and then we have the system dialed down to keep the majority of those people going long-term. So to kind of put it in the long thing into a short thing, it was a success, but the success was knowing the right offer at the right time to the right person, and then not having to depend on those 21-day challenges, those 6-week challenges, not having to like have them as a crutch, but have them as a tool and a resource, and being proactive with our marketing on these low barrier offers, and not reactive, not survival marketing like we were back in the day. And yeah, it sounds all like sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows, but we had ups and downs. We've had more downs than ups. We've almost closed gyms twice, right? Where we were kind of just banking on the word of mouth and everything else, and being that survival marketing tactics, and then that 21-day challenge and our other front end offers literally saved us a couple times. So they saved us, and then we're like, that will never happen again. Okay, so I never want to depend on that again. I want to use it as a tool. I want to use it as a resource. I don't want to have it as my just in case weapon. So we took it and totally systemized it, revolutionized it, dialed it in So now it's something that we plan and we strategize going forward. But it's a mainstay of our business. It's our number one client acquisition funnel that brings people in. We wow the heck out of them. We convert them, and we do it over and over and over again.
Awesome. Well, let's break down a few things there. We'll start macro and then we'll get more specific. So I think there's, three things I'd like to touch on there. Let's speak to our clients about what is a challenge and what's the difference between just your challenge and then if someone signs up and does PT. And then we might get a bit more specific and talk about the whole 21-day thing and why that worked. But let's just start with what's the difference with a challenge and with a PT client?
Yeah, for sure. So a lot of times your clients don't think like you, right? So when you're thinking about it as like, oh, you know what, they just need personal training. They need to be here to 3 or 4 or 5 years. They're not on the same path with you. They're not on the same page as you. And a lot of times they've been burned before, right? So they went to that big box gym, they didn't go. They went to that boot camp in the park and they didn't like the instructor. You know, they tried that infomercial gadget that bought at 2 o'clock in the morning on a Friday night, right? While they're eating pizza. They've failed multiple times and they're hesitant. They're hesitant to commit to something that they think they're going to fail again at. So a results-driven fitness challenge is a very specific goal over a specific time period. So the client can really visualize how long it's going to take, what's my commitment, what's in it for me, and how long am I going to be doing this for. So it answers like a lot of their barriers to entry. So that's what we call like a results-driven fitness challenge, is that it's over a finite time with a very specific goal. Because if you kind of talk to a person that's, 50 pounds overweight and you're like, hey, I need you to come here for 4 years. It just, they can't grasp it. It's not sexy. It's not, and it's understandable because they don't know where they are going to be in 2 months, but they want to be able to have a trial run to see if they know, like, and trust you, and whether you're actually delivering on the promises that you say. Because whether we like it or not, our industry is full of scammers and con artists and everything else like that, saying get 6-pack in 6 days and all that stuff. Like, we're having to compete with infomercials. So they're hesitant. They're really, really hesitant. And these results-driven fitness challenges give you a chance to prove that you're not like everybody else, that you're different, you can deliver.
I love that on so many different reasons. And I just want to add in a few bits of gold to our listeners that Jack mentioned there. Now, a few key things going on, because a lot of the time, especially with a 21-day challenge, a trainer might look at that and be like, 21-day challenge, that's a scam. You can't promise results in 21 days or whatever. But here's a couple things with what Jack's doing. He's not saying, hey, I just want you to train for 21 days and then see you later, bye, that's it. That's just your hook to get them in, right? You're saying, hey, come in for 21 days. I'll get you some quick wins in that 21 days. But your goal is then to get them to keep training with you and to get them to train with you for 4 years. That's still our goal. But as Jack said, if you say, hey, come in and train with me for 4 years, that's what you need. See you later, bye. No one's going to buy that package. But if you say, hey, come in for this 21-day challenge, they can come in, you can knock their socks off, and then they may end up training for the 4 years. Is that the goal there?
You got it. Yeah, you're bang on. It's like you're just. I love what you said. Like, let's celebrate some little victories. Now, this person has failed way more times than they've succeeded in the fitness world, right? They've gone on that roller coaster. They've done it all before. Like, they've been on that vicious cycle 10, 15, 20 times. And they just need to find out, how is this going to be different, right? How is this going to actually help me and not set me back? So they're hesitant. It's like a first date, right? They're asking all the right questions. They're just kind of trying to feel it out. And it has nothing to do with you, but you just need to say, hey, trust me, just for this little time, we're going to have a low barrier. Absolutely. I'm going to help you see that there is light at the end of the tunnel. I'm going to show you that there is a right path here, and that you actually can go to the gym and have fun and feel comfortable in the studio and make friends while doing it. And then you're morally and ethically obligated to help that person long term. So every single person that signs up for a 21-day challenge, we are obligated by being in the industry to not let them walk out the door on day 22. Like, it is our absolute, like, deep down burning mission. It's like, when they sign up for the 21 days, if they don't continue afterwards, we failed. Whether we got them to pay it first and we got them amazing results, that has nothing to do with it. At day 22, they should be committed and they should want to bust down your door, right? So that's the kind of thing you have to deliver for them.
Love it, love it. And let's so I want to get into some of those strategies on how we convert those 21-day challenges into the full-time personal training clients, because I've heard some of your amazing strategies at IDEA, and we'll get to them in a sec. But even before we get to that, if you could just tell our listeners why let's go two ways. Let's say why the 21-day challenge. And I think you run a few different ones anyway, but I think 21 days is the most successful. So if you could go through why the 21-day, and then maybe some of the things like, how much do you charge, what's included for that, all that sort of stuff there.
Yeah, for sure. Open book on that. So we think about it as like a business, what's good for the business and also what's good for the consumer, and we meet in the middle. So our target market is very, very specific. And where a lot of those people haven't been in the gym in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years. So when we think about it is that person hasn't worked out for 2 weeks in the last 10 years. So if we're getting them to commit from 0 to 12 weeks or 0 to a 6-month program, it's overwhelming for them. So it's a lot easier for them to not show up at the starting line than to even show up at the race at all, right? So what we're trying to do is like this person has gone 5 years without, going to the gym or going to the boot camp or whatever else. So let's get them started with something manageable, something that is achievable, but also something that we know is long enough that ideally we develop habits, we develop routine, and we can elongate the delivery process. So what I mean by that is that in 21 days, it's a lot easier to deliver training, nutrition, coaching, and accountability versus a 1-week trial where we're trying to jam it down their throats or something like that. So from a business perspective, it's long enough for them to see results. It's long enough to build them into kind of the culture of 360 fitness and kind of what we're all about. And then as a consumer, it's achievable for them. They can see the expectations and they know exactly where they're going to be for the next 3 weeks. So it's long enough for them to get results, long enough for them to see habits. And then for us, it's long enough to ingrain them into the process and to onboard them correctly that they know what we're all about. So you have to kind of think of it as what's in it for them, what's in it for you, meet in the middle.
Love it, love it. And what is included in that challenge, Jack? So let's say I know I'm not your ideal client, but if I was, how much do I pay? What do I get? All that sort of stuff there.
Yeah. So our 21-day challenge is an over delivery. Right, so we take like our entire full package offer, which is all-inclusive personal training 3 times a week, fully done for you nutrition manual, team challenges, support, assessments, all of it. Every single thing that we do in our main offer, we put it into 21 days and we frame it out perfectly for that. And the way that we price it is that we take our 1-month rate, whatever that typical is, whether it's for our small group training or whether it's for our one-on-one personal training, and we charge 75% of it. So the great thing about it is that it's in our margins, it works for us, but it also sets expectations to the client coming in that we're not a free service, we're not a cheap service. I always think that, you can be the best, the cheapest, but you can't be both. And it also pre-qualifies them to continue with you. I always talk to a lot of our coaching clients is that, if you're going to charge $67 for a 21-day challenge and then your reoccurring after that is $350, you overpromise and underdeliver to them. So kind of the pricing model is I always say like in between 60 and 80% of your 1-month service for a 21-day challenge, and then have some bonuses on top. But then it's a pre-qualification for them to continue on your full-time programs and not be overwhelmed and surprised by the price point.
Love it. And that's one thing I love about your 21-day challenges there. It just makes sense. It's like, okay, cool. Yeah. Well, I've paid this much for a 21-day challenge and I've loved it and I've had a lot of fun and I got some really good results. Hey, I can't afford it as an excuse because I afforded it for this month here and it's pretty much the same price for the next one. So that's what I want to go through from here, Jack, because I believe your retention is very strong. You use that 21-day challenge. You get a lot of people in there. You generate a lot of cash just from that 21-day challenge. But the kicker is that majority of them continue on. So if you could share with our listeners some of those strategies, I don't know if you'd call it retention or conversion, or how do you get those 21-day challenges to keep training with you for the rest of their life?
Yeah, so we have a combined retention on the 21-day challenge of over 50%. And I mean that they're going to do business with us either right then and there on day 22 or within the next 12 months. So they're either going to repeat and do another 20-day challenge or another low barrier offer we have. Those are the kind of outliers. But almost 40% routinely of every single person that comes to a 21-day challenge signs up as a full-time member within the last week of their 21-day challenge. So we're onboarding them going forward at a minimum about 40%, and then over 50% people will do business with us again. Now, the conversion process doesn't happen at the end, it happens on day one. So we start to set expectations, we start to tell them about what it is like being a member full time. We set up the communication process, we open the lines more or less for them to ask any questions and like, hey, if you want to continue with us, here's the offer during the entire 20-day challenge. We make it scarce, we make it urgent. Hey, you know what? You got to sign up at the end of 21 days if you want to keep going forward. And then also, if you're one of the first 5 people, here's some added bonuses. So there's some action taker bonuses, there's some scarcity, there's some urgency. And we just keep the communication lines open because their first day, they might be so impressed that they want to sign up now. And worst thing you can do is like, oh no, wait until the end. No, it's like that person is ready to go. You do it now, but also waiting to the end. You know, a lot of these people have been thinking reasons why not to do fitness long-term more than reasons why to do fitness. So over the 21 days, you keep that communication line open with them to answer any objections that they have in advance, right? So you start to eliminate all the little things that they might say, I can't do this forever. And you have 21 days to kind of wow the heck out of them, eliminate those objections, and more or less just put the solution in front of them. And they're asking for it. They're begging for it, but they need to see the value and not be sold that they want to feel like they bought.
Love it. And I love a few things in there. I love how basically what's Jack saying is he treats them as a pretty much a full-time client before they even are. So they get that service, they get amazing experience, and the thought is seeded. So from day one, Jack's seeding that thought of, hey, how good would this be to be with us forever? It's not just like, hey, come in for a cheap trial or a free trial and then I'll try and sell you at the end and use some sleazy tactics. It's all the way through. But also what I like about Jack is he does do those little bit extras that make the difference. Just some of those scarcity things where it's like, hey, the challenge kicks off on this day here. Hey, you know, the next intake kicks off here. And then also the action taker bonus as well, where, hey, if you sign up today or the first 5 people, you get this, this, and this, because I'm a sucker for those. If I'm on the fence with something, you know, and I'm like, oh, I want to do it, it's going to be good for me, but blah, 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 blah. All it might take is a few of those bonuses. You know what? I'm going to do it. And then I do it, not even necessarily for the bonuses, but they just get me over the line to do it and enjoy it. So I love it.
Yeah, and the things that we give out as bonuses are synergistic to the program that are only going to enhance their experience and enhance your results. So it's just a win-win altogether, right? And a lot of times, just like anything else, we're always looking for reasons why not to do things. You just have to stack the odds of why to do it in your favor, right? It's a value proposition, right? You just have to have more reasons why to join than reasons why not to join.
Love it, love it. And I even heard this good saying the other day where for someone to buy something, it needs to be more value than what they're paying for it. So if someone's looking at something and they're like, oh yeah, that's probably worth about $1,000. I might not pay it, but it's going to, it's worth about $1,000 and it costs $1,000. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But hold on, I think that's worth about $1,000, but I can get it for $900. Sign me up. So if you can show more value, it works. Now, what I'd like to move from here, Jack, is some of your marketing strategies, because that's what I loved about your presentation at IDEA, your marketing strategies, because it's all well and good for someone to say, oh, cool, I'm just going to do this 21-day challenge. But if they can't market it and get people in the door or the right people in the door, it's probably not going to work. So could you share some of your best marketing strategies with us, Jack?
Yeah. So we have 7 more hours of this podcast, right? we're good, right? Oh man, like
You've got about 7 minutes, Jack.
Oh, good. Yeah, good. We could be here for 7 hours, but the marketing behind it is so important. And one of the presentations we talked about at Ideas is that it's not all flashy emojis and glitz and glamour and a sales site and whatever else. If your 3 M's, your market, your media, and your message don't line up, it doesn't matter how good your offer is. It doesn't matter how cheap it is or whatever else. If you're not selling the right service to the right person at the right time, it's a waste. Okay, so marketing kind of tactics are only worthwhile if the marketing strategy is there. Tactics are like the little things you check off the list. You know, it's the Facebook posts and the emails and stuff like that. But if you don't have your marketing strategy, that big picture thing, it's all for nothing, right? So it doesn't matter how flashy your sales page is. If it's being sent to the wrong person, it doesn't matter, right? So now, let's say all is equal and your market, your media, and your message are dialed in, John, like wicked on that, okay? One of the things that people asked me after the presentation, like, hey, can you tell me that little list again, was the list of the messaging across your social media posts and your emails. So we do 4 posts over about 2 or 2.5 weeks. And the flow that we did, it was the introduction to the service on sales 1, right, was, hey guys, this is what this is all about. Here's who it's for. Here's what you're going to get. Here's when to sign up. Very, very clear call to action. The people that are going to buy right then are a warmer prospect. They're the ones that have been following you for a while. They've been opening your emails, but not talking to you, that kind of stuff. The next one is gain, right? So what is that person going to gain out of that program that is more than just the tangible results? What are the intangibles? So sure, you're going to lose weight and you're going to lose inches on this program, but what does that actually mean for you, right? Is it increasing confidence, increasing strength, improve self-esteem, better mood, better sleep, better relationship with your spouse, that kind of thing. The third step is your logic reasoning, okay? So that is kind of the removal of all doubt. That's where you put in your 100% money back guarantee. That is where you put it in they did it and so can you. You jam them with social proof of your perfect person. So the person that's reading the email is looking at people that look like them, act like them, talk like them, and have the same type of lifestyle. So recap, step 1 is the intro to the service, kind of the grand scheme of things. 2 is kind of what they're going to gain from it. 3, how logical it is to join the program. And 4 is the FOMO, the fear of missing out, right? That's where it's like, hey, get off the fence, right? Let's do this. Procrastination is your worst enemy. That's where you have some scarcity, urgency, last call. And you're going to get people at different stages, right? But you have to tell that story from start to finish. You can't have chapter 4 in front of chapter 1 and chapter 1 at the end. Like, it has to flow. You're telling a story with marketing, and if it's broken up wrong, then it's not good. So follow that strategy. So you have your intro, you have your gain, you have your logic, you have your FOMO, and tell a story.
Love it, love it. So let's summarize that for the listeners. So what's Jack saying there? And do you do that over 4 weeks, Jack? I guess you could do it over any period, but do you do 4 weeks? Or,
we even do less than that. Like we typically try to have it planned out for 3 to 4 weeks, but it usually sells out in 2 to 3. So we kind of have to cram it in. Yeah.
Okay. So what Jack's saying there is he's got 4 different emails, and let's just use 4 weeks as an example to make it easy for the listeners. On the first week, you can say, hey, 21-day challenge kicks off this year. Here's what you get, blah, 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 blah. And you'll get that low kicking fruit, right? Those people that are like, oh yeah, I've been following this. Oh, there's his next challenge. I'll buy it, done. Okay. But there's a lot of people that might look at it, might not be my thing. Nah, not for me. But then the next week, all right, they get another one, not necessarily a hard sell, but just some of the benefits. Hey, here's what you're going to gain from doing it. They might not buy from that email, but they've read it. Oh, okay, yeah, that sort of makes sense. Then the third one is the logic. So then once again, some more of the logic sort of things there. Oh, yeah, this sort of makes sense. And then the fear at the end, which is like, hey, closes tomorrow, you're out, do it. Those people that have been following that journey there have done it. So I love that system there. Hey, we're coming to the end of this podcast here, Jack. One thing I completely forgot to mention earlier, this was one of my biggest takeaways from your presentation and idea there. This blew my mind when Jack told me that he did this. I believe you've also got a system where people sign up for your 21-day challenge, and you've actually converted people on the first day, I think even before they've started the challenge, to then sign on and be a full-time client. Have you done that? Yeah. Could Because that blew my mind.
Yeah. So when people when they want to buy, let them buy. And when they're ready to commit, let them commit. So we always talk about it 360 Fitness, like we never sell anything, we assist and buy. So we make sure that that person is ready for it, and we just put the solution in front of them. But we have two kind of tactics for that person to buy right away. If they buy online and on their first day in the gym, whether they buy in person or buy online, we actually talk to them about their long-term goals. So it's like, hey, 21-day challenge is awesome. You know, what are you looking to achieve in 21 days? Okay, great. That's all fine and dandy, but what are you looking to achieve long-term? Like, what is this a bigger part of, right? And they tell you, you dig deep, you know, you get to the grassroots issues, and you say, you know what, I think signing up longer term is your best benefit. I still want to over-deliver to you in 21 days. Sign up on the 6-week or a 6-month membership, I should say, or a 12-month membership. I'm going to give you the 21-day challenge for free, okay? You're going to rock the entire 21-day challenge, and then at the end, it's not a right fit for you, we'll cancel that contract, no questions asked. So they kind of like eliminated that barrier already. They don't have any more reasons to not say yes at the end. And they've already got that elimination of buyer's regret. They got the 21-day challenge for free. They're committing to it long term. And then at the end of it, again, they have that 100% satisfaction for your money back. But they kind of feel good that, hey, I'm doing something, I'm going to really get great results, but I also committed to myself long term. Right? So I'm invested in my health long term. And you kind of check those two boxes right off the get-go. And I'd say about 20% of our people sign up long term before they're even first workout. Right? Yeah. You just kind of capitalize on that purchase momentum.
That blew my mind because I've never heard that before, never even thought about it. And I'm like, you know what? That makes sense. And he's done it. So I love that there. But hey, Jack, we're actually coming up to the end of the podcast here. What I like to finish off with is you're obviously an inspiration for both clients, but also trainers that want to be the best that run the best challenges in the world. They come and see you. Where do you go for education and motivation? Have you got any books you could recommend? Any mentors? Any social media gurus?
Yeah. So first and foremost, it's like I surround myself with people like you, John. So it's like the people that have energy, they have passion, they have like a purpose behind it. Being at those conferences like Idea Fit and Ursha and all that fun stuff, like that's the best thing you can do. It's like surround yourself with the people that you want to be with, right? And if you ever find yourself to be the smartest person in the room, get out of that room, right? But then like if I ever wanted to do things on my own, I really love the guys in the industry. Vito LaFata, he's awesome. We have Pat Rigsby, he's awesome. Sean Greeley, he's awesome. I can go on and on and on. That's like my professional development guys. And then for my kind of like my personal stuff is Simon Sinek. I love Tony Robbins. And then for my fitness things, like because I'm still a fitness guy at heart, I love Brett Contreras and Travis Mash. Those are kind of 3 different areas that I kind of see. It's like my business development, like, and then my professional development, like actually fitness business, and then also my actual personal fitness. I kind of do development in 3 stages.
Love it. And it's no surprise. I follow a lot of those people myself, and I see them in you as well. So I've done a bit of work with Sean Greeley before, and I'm like, okay, I see some congruence there with the two. And Vito's actually the other big name that's going to be on my podcast. So it was you and Vito. They're the 2 people.
Love it.
I was like,
love it, man. I was talking to Vito this morning. He's such a good guy.
Yeah.
He lights up the screen for sure.
100%. Well, you two are the 2 that I saw from Idea. And I'm like, these are the 2 I want on my podcast. So I think that's awesome. But hey, Jack, we're coming to the end of the podcast here. Now, I just want to reconfirm this. So if you're listening to this, if you go to this page here, the 360fitness.ca/21day biz with a Z, I'm going to put that in the description anyway. That's where Jack's is promoting his 21. He'll show you the done for you 21-day challenge. And I just want to confirm, just to make sure I've got this around in my head, you either double your money or you get it for free. They're the only 2 options?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're listening to this, like either you want free info or do you want to double your income, go for that. They're your only 2 options. Yeah. But do you want to give us a quick one? If you want to give us the quick 101 on that, or just anything I forgot to mention or anything you want to get off your chest, you can go for it now.
Yeah, so thank you so much for having me. First and foremost, it's been awesome. The 21-day challenge, business in a box, it is kind of everything start to finish on how to run a successful fitness challenge. So a lot of the ones you see on the market are just marketing, right? They just give you some social media, they give you some emails, and they say, have fun. Now that's 5% of it. We actually give you all the marketing, we give you all the operations, we give you all the logistics, we give you all the presentations. We actually give you a complete done-for-you nutrition manual and client success manual to hand off to your clients so you look like an absolute rock star. We tell you how to run all your events, all your orientations, your finales. We even give you a white labeled PowerPoint presentation. The things that like take a lot of time, effort, and energy that you don't need to do, that are just plug and play. So it's all there for you. Even contracts, payment contracts, client, body weight and body circumference statistics sheets, like all that stuff is in there. Nutrition, workouts, all of it. So you take a look at it. It's an entire business in a box. You follow the steps, you execute it, you double your money or your money back.
Love it, love it. And I just want to expand on that a bit. That's some of because I do a lot of obviously coaching and courses and that as well. And some of the biggest benefits are just the done for you things. Because a lot of these things, hey, you could go out and do it on your own, but you're probably going to have to spend a few dollars anyway, someone on Fiverr to put it together. Yeah. And then you're going to have to spend, hours and hours of your time putting it together. Hey, here it is. Just go and speak to Jack and you'll get it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like, what's your time worth, right? It's like, are you fiddling around with that font, on the Word document for 4 hours when you could have been selling 15 memberships at the same time? It's like, put your resources and your time where it's the most valuable, right? So all the stuff you can eliminate, the other 95% of your day, get it done. Get it done. Start to put your time and resources where it actually generates you revenue.
Love it. Love it. So yeah, just to finish off, I definitely recommend checking out Jack's stuff. Just go to the website, check it out. It's win-win anyway, free info or double your money back. Jack, that's pretty much all we got time for. Anything else to add?
No, that's it. Just take that imperfect action. Thank you so much, Jono. This is wonderful. I love meeting you guys at conferences. As soon as I met you, you had energy about you. It was infectious. I loved it. Followed you on social media right away, and every single time I see you, I smile. So love it, man.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you very much for your time.
Okay, thanks, John. Bye-bye.